some time.
So the artificial intelligence is actually it's actually going to be used for for categorizing
Yeah.
the different reports,
Yes.
for categorizing the different big data, right? But what about the analytics? Because you also said that based on the big data, for instance, from the marketing department, you're going to analyze it using artificial intelligence to find the right pattern that's going to be profitable for the firm, right?
Yep. That's where correlation comes in. So correlation is what, you talked about the process part, but where we haven't seen is actually the correlation part, right? So that correlation part is sort of like the black magic that people are looking at. That is what we're looking at when artificial intelligence meets your process data, right? That needs to happen. So that's why, how that's going to be, it's algorithms, it's testing, it's making sure that it works, formulas, to make that conversation happen.
Okay, so so it seems like you are. Maybe I misunderstood, but so far what my understanding is that the blockchain main purpose that it want to solve. The problem it want to solve is actually this difficulty in finding consistency in data. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is.
Is that the only problem you focus on, or are there some other problems?
That's the biggest problem that you're looking at, because
And you also mentioned about immutability.
Yes, that's right. So what you're saying is absolutely true, and it's absolutely correct, and that is the biggest problem that a lot of people face. One, you don't track your data properly, not like a lot of companies, they don't. And two, it's very, very costly if you do this in a half hybrid manual and machine, which is what is happening right now.
Right.
So what we're trying to deliver is an affordable platform for these other SMEs out there who cannot afford data analytics, more sophisticated ones. So that is what blockchain can really do right now. And I think in the foreseeable 3 to 5 years, that's it. Until it then gets into another level of sophistication for blockchain, then we'll start evolving other stuff.
What happened if the company already screwed up on the data management?
Well, then we'll have to work from zero again and find out exactly where they screwed up. And then
my question is more like, are you going to kind of, create a system where actually SMEs, similar industry, similar whatever products, whatever, going to kind of, sell the data in that case, so that the other company who screwed up their data management can use it?
Well, an aggregated data, sure, because that does not have absolute details into sensitive.
What do you mean by aggregated data?
So which means, like, for example, on a general basis, all the F&B outlets of this particular size that has used my network has kind of a trend like this, right? So then if a company knows or wants to find out if they've kind of screwed up their data, they can look at an aggregated data without the sensitivities, this is A company or B company or C company, all right? Yeah, so that we can facilitate.
But you need the permission of the other companies.
No, with an aggregated data, you don't need to. It's like saying, if I work for the bus company, I can just tell people, on an average, 75% of people in Korea walk a lot, most of the time. So that's a general information, that's aggregated data.
You're going to pay for that data to the SMEs, right, who submitted?
No, so some of the information that are available and can be freely published can then be provided in a free manner.
But most probably, I think that, the data that actually the other companies need is more specific private data rather than publicly available data.
This is where then what we're going to do with facilitation is if you want private data, you'll need to speak to that company. We can facilitate that transaction or that exchange, but it's got nothing to do with us in specific because we're not the data owners, to be absolutely clear. Yeah. So that sort of like transaction, that exchange can happen. We can do that. Because what we're going to build is not just a platform, but it becomes an ecosystem whereby you can, we have X amount of other companies that are within this category using our platform. If you want to speak to them, let us know. We can open the channel for you.
All right.
Yeah.
So tell me about your token economy.
So the token economy is actually, we're really a token-based, a utility token for Datavlt. So it's not a securities, it's not assurance. With our token economy, it really powers the way that the whole entire ecosystem works. The token is actually designed to then be able to find out the frequency of what services and what platforms have been, or what products have been used. And essentially, the more utility it is, the faster the cycle it becomes a very profitable business. And that's where, we talk about the token.
No, I don't understand. Tell me, what is the utility of the token? I didn't understand.
So you get our tokens, DVLTs. You go onto our platform, we basically use it in credits. All those DVLTs for whatever services that you want to do, let's say you have a report, you want 10 different filters in, let's say for example is 100 DVLTs. get the credits, come in, use it. You just use the credits. So you can so we facilitated the business in two different ways. One, you go to if you are crypto savvy, go onto the exchanges, get our tokens. If you're not, you're a traditional fiat company, that's perfectly fine. We do have authorized resellers who would then be able to facilitate the fiat purchase, and then that credit goes into your account. You just use it, and that's essentially.
So it's like a subscription fee.
It is a subscription fee just to maintain the back-end office. It's cheap and it's low. It's very affordable, and you only pay for what you use if you want to filter your reports.
And once you receive the token, what you gonna do with it?
Personally, on Datavlt side,
Yeah,
or
because these guys pay you, right, for filtering.
So the tokens will be recycled back, because then we will then float.
What do you mean by recycled back?
So it'll be floated back into the market again, so that the tokens, the availability of the tokens, the liquidity is actually there, because we're talking about not just 10,000 users. We're looking maybe at 75.
No, I don't understand. So you get the token, right? 10 tokens, for instance.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? I mean, you're just gonna put it.
So they'll use it within our ecosystem. It gets tracked on what it's used, right? And then after that, it's being used. So we then have the tokens again, and what we'll do is we'll put it back into the economy again. I mean, the cryptocurrency market, whatever it is, to make it available for people
So you're
to
selling
purchase.
the tokens?
So a third party will sell for us. We won't be selling it on ourselves.
But it's actually sales
Yes.
of the token,
Yeah,
right?
in a sense.
Okay. All right. What other token utility do you have? I understood.
Okay. What other token utility?
Yeah.
Right now, it's only for our platform, but
Only subscription fee?
subscription and any other sort of like customizations in terms of reports that you want to do, that you can pay for, and any other trades in terms of purchasing other reports or other insights that other companies might be selling, you can purchase them as
Okay,
well.
you have done this for 1.5 years. How many customers are willing to go on board?
So right now, safely saying, we have 50-ish projects on hand that are queuing up to use our platform, but because we're in a piloting phase, we're taking our time,
All right.
and we're not rushing.
And then, I mean, the data kind of, the data storage, and I mean, it's not P2P, right? Not B2B. I mean,
It
it's.
is B2B.
Why is it B2B? Because you guys will have your analytics, right? And if the customer wants to kind of get the service, he's going to pay by tokens, and then you're going to run your analytics, give the result back to the client.
Wait, it's business.
Off-chain.
You're saying business to business or peer to peer?
Yeah, like business, like transaction. They pay token and get some service from the other companies. I mean, that's not a feature of your platform.
Yeah. Well, we're talking to businesses, so that's what business to business really is, right? Or is there a different meaning for business to business?
More like, I mean, not you as a center and all these clients, clients. I'm talking about that aspect.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, we see ourselves as providing a service to the businesses. So yes, we'll look at it as a B2B, but not rather than B2C. If B2C, if you're talking about general consumer who goes shopping outside, then it's a different terminology. I think we're talking about different terminologies here.
Yeah, but I'm right? I mean,
Yeah.
you're on one end,
Yes.
and all the clients are on the other end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
But
what I'm saying.
client to client, if they want to facilitate information sharing, that's something that we can facilitate as well.
So that's I mean, is that like included in a plan from day one, or is it like a
Yeah.
future state?
No, it is a future state, but it has been included in the plan. It's just
In that case, what you mean is that they can tokenize the data and sell it to whoever's willing to buy it.
Yeah, as long as the data is not illegally obtained or it doesn't violate any kind of legalities in their countries or with their companies.
All right. So, are there any other contributors to your platform?
Well, I would say universities, researchers.
No, you know what I'm saying, right?
Oh, right,
Contributors
right.
like experts, they're getting paid by the token for the services.
Yes, there are quite some.
For instance.
Unfortunately, I can't name names right now because we're under.
No. I mean, what are they? I mean, what is their role?
The role.
Because you are the center, right?
Yes.
I mean, you do all the analytics.
Yeah.
So most probably, there won't be an analytics, expert who wants to kind of, provide his service to a company on your platform. I mean, that's not going to happen.
So we're talking about the back-end stuff, right? And you're talking about people who are credible data scientists who would come in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So we've got, I'll just namely a few, but I can't name names. So we've got people who maybe sat in the military intelligence and they want to look at fake news. So these are the guys who we are working with at the moment. And also on experts with digital marketing. In terms of sentiment
so
analysis.
these
Yeah.
people can also log onto your platform, get
Yeah.
the token in exchange of their services?
Yes.
All right.
That's possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that was blockchain. And I mean, can you introduce your team?
So my team, the co-founders, myself, Michelle, and two other, Willie and Benny. So we've got our backgrounds, like I said just now. So for me, I've been in the FMCG and consumer goods background for a long time. Willie from the gaming industry, and Benny actually from the military, and then into the banking side. So all of us have touched data or have been involved heavily in data.
What about your artificial?
Have been okay. So some of the guys have come from like fast trading, high speed trading kind of backgrounds where they do R&D and data science for.
Do you think they are qualified?
Absolutely, because that's not just that. They've also done quite a fair bit of consumer studies as well in terms of data analytics and building algorithms and whatnot. On top of that, we also have an integration team, of which my team is actually quite multinational, and they actually have expertise in blockchain and also full stack.
Okay, I'll be honest, all right?
Yeah,
my opinion,
sure.
all right?
Yeah.
I think the usage of the blockchain and of your model, I mean, they all make sense, all right? But the thing that I'm thinking about is that it all depends on how good your analytics is.
Yeah.
And that's 1.5 years, and they have to take it into account.
Yes, absolutely.
Because over 1.5 years, it's too early to judge whether you're really good at analytics or not.
Well, time will tell.
And when it comes to the big data, I think that makes sense, because you're not creating from scratch. If you said you were going to create it from scratch, then I would be like, all right, do your best.
That's too much work
Because,
from scratch. Yeah.
it takes a lot,
It does.
it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I know.
you already use, the data from your clients' companies, so that makes sense. And then your token economy, I think it's not sexy, but it makes sense because when it comes to data, I think usually that's the way people, blockchain companies use it, and that's my impression. What do you think about that?
I think fair. I think it's fair. Absolutely. We're not here for sexy. We're here for actually a real world change. We're not to be absolutely fair, we're not reinventing the bowl. What we want to do is to make sure that blockchain does get a real utility in the real cycle of a business world rather than.
And another thing is, I talked to a lot of, big data companies, projects, and they were from Israel mostly, and these guys had pretty solid models, and they're going to be actually your competitors because all they got to do is the same, and the thing is, so you said you're not going to give token to companies who actually contribute to data because they're not contributing, right? I mean, they're just for their own usage, right?
I mean, if it's there for their own usage, then really there's no point. But then, if it is for other purposes and they want to do other stuff, then yeah.
Yeah, because don't you think it could be kind of effective if you also provide tokens? I don't know, for sharing their information, data. Sometimes they. I mean, of course, it will be very not easy because they have to run all these approval processes, but.
That's a good point to have, and maybe we'll take that on.
A lot of data companies, they use always token as an incentive to
Yeah.
But it's different because when they are talking about data, it's mostly consumer. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
User, right?
Yeah.
But in your case, it's different because they are companies.
Yeah. So I think you've got a point there. So right now, what we're focusing on is really on the companies first. And then when you're talking about consumers who want to maybe contribute some data in terms of their daily habits, that's absolutely something that we can look at. Absolutely.
Right.
And then, then we can facilitate a different level of information sharing altogether.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to stay tuned. All
yeah,
right. And,
thanks so much.
Any last word for the audience?
Yeah. Last words is,
Like Tom Cruise rocks or, no, I'm kidding. Go ahead, be honest.
Tom Cruise rocks. He really was. Data is everyday life. We can't run away from it. And if you want to live the way that you do, this is the time where we have to change the way we do things.
Okay, I totally agree. Okay, guys, this was Tom Cruise. She beat the challenge, and are you ready for the next challenge? See you next time. Bye.
Thank you.